can hear you, girl. Good morning. Happy New Year, Coach. Happy New Year.
Happy New
Happy
Year.
New Year. All right. I'm over here talking with the mute on.
Morning, everyone. Happy Saturday.
Happy Saturday. Happy New Year. It is. Okay, it's 6:58 now, so we're almost there.
Mhm.
Ready to go. All right. We have more people trickling in.
Wonderful.
Buenos dias. Good morning.
Hey, good morning, everybody.
Morning, good morning.
Morning.
Good morning. Good morning. Happy Saturday.
Hey, good morning. Happy Saturday. Trust everyone is doing well and had a good week.
Most definitely. Of course, always. Absolutely.
Purpose.
Marcus, you kind of look like Lucky in that picture.
Hey, don't give him too much credit now. Don't give him too much credit.
Well, you guys don't normally look the same to me. And then that picture, you kind of have some resemblance.
Well, they say you start looking like the person that you role model after.
Buenos dias, moms. That's mom's jeans right there.
Good morning, everybody. Veronica, don't start no trouble.
Yeah,
You
please
know I'm
don't.
here for all the
Please don't
trouble.
start it with her.
All right, 7 o'clock.
Perfect. Welcome, everybody. It's all good. Perfect. Wonderful. All right. So, what is I'm going to put it over here. What is a diet? What is a diet?
It's a choice of a certain style of eating.
Okay. So the first word you chose was what?
Choice.
Choice. Okay. What is fasting?
When you give up something, you stop something. You well, specifically food, but when you give up, you choose to, you know, stop something for a while, a moment, so you can fast from um, from a certain type of eating, or you can just fast from eating altogether, if you will.
Hey, look, I want to use the word restrict when you're restricting yourself from something.
Okay. So, all right. So abstain, restrict,
Give up.
choose. All right. So you are choosing to abstain or restrict what?
Foods.
It might be anything that you feel that you deem um, takes up more time than necessary. It could be anything. It could be
Okay.
a
Who
soda, anything.
who is doing it?
I am.
So what does that mean?
I mean, I am choosing not to or give up whatever it is that I think may be taking, because people don't typically give up things that like vegetables and water. They give up things that may not benefit them the most all the time.
Okay. Who is doing that?
I am.
So what is fasting and dieting?
I am.
So then what does that mean? So what is fasting? If I am is doing it, what does fasting and dieting mean? When you say I am, who are you talking about?
I am.
Yourself. Yourself.
Okay. So then what does fasting and dieting mean? If you say yourself, what does fasting and dieting mean?
You're choosing yourself.
Okay. But But if you know who you are, what is fasting and dieting?
Creating. It's a way to create. It's a way to declare.
Okay, who else?
Options.
Okay, what does that mean?
If you're the creator and you're choosing to diet or fast, those are experiences you get to choose.
What is the experience? Or where is the experience?
It's mental. It's mental.
Okay, what does that mean?
It's the you have to give it up in your mind. You have to you're choosing to say, I'm going to abstain from this. I'm going to restrict myself from this, but you're choosing this in your mind first. So it's a mental thing that
within.
yeah.
Okay, so if it's a mental thing, if you're I am, what are you abstaining or restricting yourself with or from?
Lack of control, like lack of discipline, I guess.
Does I am have that?
No, I am.
No, you're not restricting yourself. There's no restricting.
Well, okay, so this is point number one. This is perfect. This is what today's class is going to be about. This is what today's class is going to be about. In order to live a good life, and living a good life is you being who you want to be. You making a conscious choice of who is it you want to be, because you are everything. You're only experiencing what you are choosing to be. But you are everything. You can be anything, but you only are what you're choosing to be. And what you're going to see in today's class is we are not consciously choosing who we want. And even when we think we are, we don't even realize what it is we're actually saying. We don't really have an understanding of what we're actually saying. We're not working in progress in a way that we think we are. So I said, who's doing it? We said, I am. Now all of a sudden we can't abstain and we can't restrict what we ate to now is a mind thing. Which one is it? What is it? What is diet and what is fasting?
Are we abstaining from food
From
to create awareness in the human self?
Monique, say it again. Start over. I didn't catch the beginning of what you said.
Are we abstaining from food to create awareness in the human self, like to align, like I and my father are one?
Okay, but the food you eat doesn't make you more or less of what you are. So that's why in the book, when it said, when Peter said, "I can't eat the unclean thing," and God, in the book of Acts, and God brought down a sheet from the sky and put all manner of food on there and say, "Don't call what I have clean unclean, what I've cleansed unclean." Basically, just eat. Because it also says in the part of the book, nothing that you eat or don't eat is going to get you to heaven. There's nothing that you eat or don't get. That's what it says in the book. Nothing that you eat or don't eat is a path to heaven. Right? So then that's number one. And then point two, who is doing it?
I am
So then who is that?
God.
Okay, so then are you telling, so what is God abstaining from or restricting?
That human energy crap. That weakness crap. Like,
Yeah, but
I
it's
can't do this.
not human.
Well, it's reminding the vessel, right? Because I am lives in a vessel, right? We're the vessel. Lucky is the vessel. Sparkle Bailey is the vessel, and it's reminding that vessel, hey, you have all this authority over here. Let's exercise our authority, right?
Yes, but what is your what? That's perfect. So then now we're talking about authority. So then, what is your authority?
To choose, to be.
What you choose is not your authority. The fact that you have the ability to choose is your authority. So I am is the one that is dieting or fasting, but I am is not humanity. So it's not about food. It can't be about food because I am is not physical. I am is consciousness. So a diet then is the menu of thoughts you entertain. That's what a diet is. Your mental diet is the menu of thoughts that you entertain. That's what a diet is. A diet is not physical. It's expressed physically, meaning what you eat is just an action. But all action is preceded by what?
Thought.
By thought. So then the action is not the determining factor of what you decided. It's just when you get to see what you decided. It's when you act out your decision. But the decision is only expressed physically. It is not a physical thing. To decide something is not physical. It's expressed physically. All decisions and choices are first thought. Thought is the authority. Your consciousness, what you are choosing in your mind, in your awareness, as I am, is being expressed physically. So your diet is not a physical thing. That's humanity calls it physical because humanity is physical. But what you eat first came from a choice. So then your diet is a thought. That's why just because somebody put food in front of you, if you're a vegan, are you going to eat a pork chop? No, because that's not how you identify yourself. You identify yourself as vegan, but vegan is just a consciousness, is a thought that's expressed in what you do or what you don't do. So it's a choice that you made. You choose, it's a choice you made to abstain from a particular food, but that's still a choice first. And that choice is consciousness, is made in consciousness. It's physically expressed, but it's not a physical thing. Fasting is basically abstaining or refraining, or basically it is conscious. It is basically conscious choice, right? To say no to something. I'm either not going to think. It is a conscious choice to choose or not to choose a thought or a thought pattern, a way of thinking. When you start fasting, is because before you were eating. So when you start fasting in consciousness, it's before you were thinking. So now what you're doing is, I'm no longer going to think these things. I'm going to fast from these type of thoughts. These things I am no longer going to think, whether it is forever or whether it's for a certain amount, but I am going to abstain from thinking this way about these things, or about these things this way, or whatever it be. Just like you would in food, I'm not going to eat these things. Well, consciousness is like, I'm not going to think these things. That is fasting. You're saying I'm not engaging in that. Right? Everything we're talking about here first is consciousness. It's expressed physically. That is why most people suffer, because they punish their body, but they won't change their mind. They won't change their mind still. So they'll punish their body. Well, if I stop eating this, and then if I stop doing this, and if I stop doing that, all those things are physical, but you haven't changed who the doer is. So if you don't change who the doer is, the doing is not going to change anything. Oh, it'll rearrange it. Like I would say, like chairs on the deck of the Titanic. You can go from first class to third class. The boat's going down. The water don't care whether you're first class or third class. Life doesn't care about whether you're a Republican or a Democrat, a man or a woman. It doesn't care if you're black or white. It doesn't care if you're an entrepreneur or if you're not. It doesn't care about all that. Only we care about that. Only the people on the Titanic cared about first or third class. When the boat started sinking, did the ice water care who was first or third class? Did the first class part of the boat stay in the air magically? Us as humanity cares about a whole lot of things that the laws of nature, the universe, and the mind care nothing about. And so when we're always trying to attribute things to physicality, it's why we miss its the true understanding of a thing. And that makes sense in our humanity, because our humanity is physical. So humanity attributes everything to the world or the realm that it understands. Right? That's fine. That makes sense. There's nothing wrong with that. We just have to understand, be able to differentiate the two. Right? Sometimes when we're with our kids, we're almost like friends. Like we may have a moment of laughing. We're like, that was funny. We're walking down the grocery store aisle. We're walking through the park, or we're driving in a car, laughing and talking. It almost feels like friendship, right? For a couple minutes, something that we're just bonding over in a moment. But then there's that moment where you realize you step back out and be like, okay, now I'm the parent again. Like consciousness, like I have to make a choice. We're not on the same page. We never were, but for a couple moments, it felt like we were. But then you step back and be like, okay, now it's time to get out and go to school. Okay, get upstairs and do your homework. Okay, clean up the kitchen. Or okay, it's time to go to practice. You click back in consciousness to the natural order or hierarchy of things. Not order of importance, not important, who's more important, but everybody's important. And you can't be a parent without a child. And you can't be a child without a parent. You wouldn't have got here without one. And you can't be one without a child. You can't be a parent. So it's not order of importance or hierarchy, but they're both important in their own realm. The other one can't be the other one without the other one, for lack of better words, right? So my point is, that's not that humanity is not important, but we have to understand who the parent is. The parent is I am. So when we're talking about diet, we're talking about the mental thoughts that you entertain. What are the menu of thoughts that you're entertaining, that you're living on? Because your consciousness uses thoughts to run, just like your stomach uses food to run. It's the same thing. And just like you think you need to get your food under control, you believe you need to get your food under control in order to get your body under control. Well, how do you get your life under control if your mind's out of control? How do you think that works? Right? You cannot punish your body when because your mind is out of control. Just like our stomach uses food, our mind uses thoughts. And when we don't know how to think, then our body is going to suffer. Our physical world suffers. Right? But so when we're talking about diet, when we're talking about fasting, we're talking about, okay, I'm choosing to no longer think these certain set of thoughts for a particular amount of time or forever. Because I feel like it's better for my mind to run on these things or to no longer run on these things. I'm going to abstain from these, right? I'm not going to think about that right now. I'm not going to think that way about that right now for a particular or a certain amount of time, whatever that may be. But when it's even in the book, when it's talking about diet and fasting, it doesn't say diet as much, but when it talks about diet and fasting, it's talking about consciousness. It's not talking about the physical body. That's why when Peter said he couldn't eat that, God said, what do you mean? Everything, don't call what I've cleansed unclean. If I made it, it's good. Right? But if you don't know who you are, then you're going to start saying, well, if I don't eat this, it's going to make me a better me. Whether you eat pork or whether you're vegan, you're still Sarita. You're not changing anything. Right? All you're doing is changing your experience. I had a pork chop sandwich or I had lentils and rice. You just had a different experience, but you're still Sarita. Right? You're still you're still who you are. Your food doesn't make you something different. But when you think you're Sarita, then you think you have to change your food in order for Sarita to be different. But that's not the case. That's not actually true. Yes, you're doing it. You're truly doing it, but that doesn't make it the truth in outcome. Doesn't make it the truth. That's why it said, it brought a blanket from heaven and brought down all manner of food. Look it up in Acts. Brought all manner of food and said, hey, basically eat whatever you want. Don't call what I've cleansed unclean. Your consciousness doesn't think about it that way, but your humanity does. But your humanity thinks about everything because humanity is about one thing, and that is this: earn. It's about earning something. Earn. You have to earn something. So you have to, it's not first your parents put you in school so that you can know something, right? Then what do they tell you as an adult? They tell you it's not what you know, it's who you know. Well, what in the hell have I been going to all this school for if it's not what I know? If I just got a cousin who's rich, then I can sit around all day and just wait to get old enough to be employed, and I'm in. Right? It's always some form of earning. You have to be this, then you have to do that, then you have to be this, then you have to do that, then you have to be this, then you have to do that. So you're always trying to earn your way into something. And then when you can't earn your way in, you lie your way in, you bribe your way in, you pay your way in, you cry your way in, you cheat your way in, you break in, you do whatever you need to do to get in. Because you're automatically, when you identify yourself just as your physical expression, then everything now is about earning. Everything is about earning. That is why you're on a diet. That is why you're fasting. You're over here trying to earn a whole bunch of things because you don't realize who you are. I am the authority. And the authority expresses itself as thought. And when you realize that you are that, then now this word earn, you start redefining it and start telling the truth of what it actually is, which is own. You own everything. You're trying to earn things you already own, but you're trying to earn them because you think you're just Marcus. You think you're just the human flesh that you are bathing, feeding, doing all kinds of things with and to. So then you're constantly in a state of chasing, trying to get. But when I asked you what it was, everybody, the first thing they did was talk about physical things, right? Didn't we say food? Didn't they say you don't eat this anymore? You don't do that anymore so that you can be? You already are. That's what you're missing. You already are what you want to be, but it's your failure. It is your ignorance. It is your lack of knowledge about who you really are that prevents you from seeing who you are, from being able to express that, because you're only expressing what you're aware of being. And when your awareness of being is just your humanity, own disappears again. And guess what pops back up? Earn. Pops right back up. So you're either earning or owning. You're not doing both at the same time. You have to figure out which one you're doing. And if you're earning, if everything you do is justified, is in justification to get, that's what you're doing, is earning. If everything, if that you desire to be is assumed in thought as the authority, as I am, now you're owning. You're owning. You're now identifying yourself as that person, as that experience. I am that. That's owning. I'm trying to be that. I'm working on that. I'm going through my journey. I'm journeying. I am what all the other crap you guys say that's just the dumbest that I've ever heard in my life. But I said it back in the day. But I'm a new person now, so now I think it's stupid. And because it's ignorant. It's you're not speaking from who you really are. And here, I'm not trying to get you to be me. I want you to be you. So so what I am doing here is helping you remember who you are so that you can be whoever you want to be. So that because you are everything already. But who you think you are, you're only choosing certain things. And then you're putting conditions upon those things to achieve them. You're everything. I want to be a teacher. Okay, well, that means I need to go to school. Then I have to be this. Then I have to be that. Then I have to get this. Then I have to get that. So all these things are put in place for you to be able to feel free to call yourself something you desire to be. So you won't call yourself that until you are that, but then you wonder why you never reach it. You won't call yourself healthy when you're not feeling well, and then you wonder why you're not feeling well in the first place. And why it's taking so long. You won't call yourself wealthy or successful until you see it. But you can't, but sight is last. Vision is first. I am has vision. Humanity has sight. So you keep waiting. You're waiting on the end and you won't start the race. You won't even start. You're waiting around. You're waiting for somebody to come pick you up and you haven't even called them yet. That's essentially what you're doing. And then you justify your earning, right, by how hard all your labor is a justification to earn. Instead of assuming what did Shakespeare say? Assume a virtue if you have it not. Assume a virtue. if you have it not. It's all about choosing as all that is. It's about choosing what you want to express as all that is. I'm everything. So now what I'm experiencing in the physical world is nothing but an expression of what I have chosen, whether I consciously chose it or I chose it in ignorance. So a lot of things that we think are so are not so, and we're wondering why we're not living the life we want to live. When I talked about last week, anybody remember when I brought that example of church and the Eagles? Anybody remember that? In the Eagles game, and I brought up church and the Eagles, and I said, what's the difference between the two? Anybody remember when I brought that up?
Yeah.
See, I didn't bring that. I don't have a problem with church. I grew up in church. Sundays 9:30, Tuesdays 7:30. Still remember it to this day. And I haven't been to that church in years, decades. But I still remember I grew up there. And I'm grateful that my mom took me because it gave me a lot of fundamental, foundational values that have helped me now. But I understand them better now. And I'm able to choose them better. And I'm able to apply them better. I'm able to be responsible for them. But they gave me something to choose from where maybe if I wouldn't have gone, maybe I would have chose something different. So I'm grateful that I went. But my point is the church and the Eagles. My point is that most people go to places and assume that they're getting something because that's their intention. But that's not actually what they're getting when they go. Because when you look at the outcome of their lives, you would have never know they went or never know they go. Right? We are and have been confusing motivation and entertainment for information. And the reason I brought up the church and the Eagles is because when you go to most churches and religious places, it is no different than an athletic contest. You are being motivated and you are being entertained, but you're not being informed. You're not getting things that are changing the way you think about yourself, your world, your life. So that's why when I ask certain questions, you go and nobody knows the answer. Everybody thought and thinks diet and fasting are physical things. They point to physical things. They point to food. They point to physical things. And you keep trying to live your world just physically. But that's not where the power is. That's not where the authority is. Why do you think all of us start off young and can't wait to grow up? Right? Couldn't wait to get your license, right? Couldn't wait to start buying lunch at school instead of having your parents pack it up for you, right? Couldn't wait to ride your bikes in the summer and get a little more free time because that was an expression of your independence, right? But most of us are going to places where we're not growing up because we're not actually giving food to mature. We're just being entertained and we're just being motivated. So everybody comes out hot and on fire, tap dancing. Boy, you could crush the world when you first walk out of these places. My team won. It's a good day. Today was a good day, just like Ice Cube, right? Ooh, you walk out that place. Ooh, that service was good. You're on fire. And what did I say? Favorite day, Tuesday. By Tuesday, nobody will ever know you went. By Wednesday, they'll never know you ever went, that you've ever been to a place, period. By Wednesday, you are out of weight. You are stranded on the side of the road out of gas because the motivation has died. Everybody clapping around and walking on water is gone. They don't even know water's a drought now. You're out in the middle of the wilderness now, just like this. Just standing like just wondering, confused. Where am I? What's happening? What's going on here? Right? Because we're being motivated and we're being entertained, but we're not being informed. We don't really know anything because life requires you to know something. You got to know something to get some money, to keep some money, to get a job, to raise your children, to be a spouse, to be a business person, to be an entrepreneur, to be all. You have to, at some point, you have to know something. Trying hard, being a good person, being a member of the this and a that, or that's not going to save you. You either got money for gas or you don't. You're not gonna be able to substitute. Well, I'm a deaconess. Well, I'm a Philadelphia Eagles cheerleader. Yeah, but you at the gas station. Well, the pom-poms ain't gonna pay for it. Can't slide your Bible through the little under the little thing at the gas station and be like, let me get 10 on Psalms 21. That's not going to work out. You have to have what it takes in that moment. And we don't have it because we're not being informed. Information is not being passed. Motivation is, excitement is, entertainment is, but information is not. And only with information will you change your life. And we're not talking about being educated in the sense of you don't have to have a master's degree, a PhD. We're not talking about levels of education. We're talking about sufficient information wherever you get it, however you get it. But most of us don't have it or have enough of it to live the life that we want to live or we want to live. We don't have it. But we mean to, so we go to school, or we go to a religious service, or we go to this or that. But we think because that is our intention that that's what we're receiving. That is why I made the correlation between the two. For most people, church and the Eagles game are the same. In net effect, the outcome of your life is the same, whether you went to either one. You feel better going to this one than that one. You can call your friends like, yeah, I just came back. Everybody's like, oh, that's so good. Oh, that's so wonderful. The other one, they're like, oh, that's cool. But nobody's going to necessarily praise you for it. But church, they'll praise you because you're going and you're a good person and this or that. Then we start back again. I don't have a problem with you going. I've never told anybody here don't go. I'm not telling anybody to go here instead. This ain't even the same day. It's Saturday. One. Number two, I don't have no church to send you to. So I don't have a recommendation and I don't have one myself. So I'm not trying to take anyone away from going. What I'm trying to, my intention is to make you aware of, are you actually getting what you're going for? Are you actually getting what you're going for? Are you actually getting information that you can use and that you can apply on Tuesday, on Wednesday? When the gas light is on your car, you need to get some gas. When the bills are coming under your door or through the mailbox. When you're coughing a little longer and harder than you think you should. When your spouse says something you don't like. When your kids aren't feeling well. Do you have information? Do you have the ability to go somewhere in your mind and apply something so that let there be light? So that you can tell the winds and waves to peace and be still. Most of us don't have it. You look around, you're like, well, what am I gonna? So then everything becomes physical, becomes diet and fasting. It becomes physical. Everything becomes physical then. But how many jobs you gonna work? How many hours you gonna work? You mean to tell me you created this body to come here and you just gonna work just to work forever? Never enjoy a rainbow, never enjoy a sunset, and spend the majority of it just doing something you don't want for the majority of your life, and then by the time you can quit, what are you gonna do now? How much time you got left? What you gonna do now? And most of us have, by that time, beat our bodies up so bad there ain't much you can do even if you have the time. You walking so slow, you need to be retired to get there on time. You got canes, wheelchairs, you can't see, you can't hear. So you walk into the airport and everybody just brushing you to the side. Move, get out the way. You too slow. Life just brushing you by. We are not receiving enough information to make our lives the way we want them to be. And because we mean well when we're going certain places, right? We think that that's what we're getting. So we think like, oh, but when you walk out on Tuesday or Wednesday, do you have it? Do you have information that you can apply and say, I want this to get better, this to get better. I want this to stop. I'm not going to think like this. I know how I think. I know who I am. I know how this works. I know how this goes. Is that what we're getting? Is your life telling you that's what you're getting? You shall know a tree by its fruit. You can't tell somebody you know and you don't have nothing. Whether it's your health, that area you can't talk to me about if you don't have it. If you're not producing it. Because you should know a tree by its fruit. It's not judgment or criticism, but if I'm looking at a tree and there's nothing on it, I don't know what that is. You can say it's an apple, you can say it's an orange. Until there's a fruit comes on there, we just argue. We can tell each other anything. It doesn't mean anything, doesn't matter. So many things that we think are true are not true. And we're living our lives on those things. We're living our lives on those things. And you have to become more circumspect. You have to become more perspicacious. You have to pay attention more. That's why I always encourage you to put your feelings to the side, to put your emotions to the side, not your awareness, not your feeling, your awareness. Not your awareness or your feelings, your emotions. You love something if it makes you feel good. You hate it if it makes you feel bad. But you don't even think about what's actually being said to you. You're not actually judging, paying attention to what you're hearing, what you're watching, what's going on. But that's what you're living on, is that. So that information is true, great. If it's not, what do you have now? You either have that which is not true or nothing. Which one is, I don't know, they're both bad. They're both just as bad. You have nothing to help yourself or the wrong thing to help yourself. So nothing won't help you and wrong won't help you. So it's the same thing. Right? How many people go somewhere where they learn something and take their book home and sit down with it and reread what they just heard? How many people actually study what they just were told? Come on, man, tell the truth. Nobody. Very, very few people. So all you're doing is listening to what somebody told you. But how do you know they know? Do they show you where they got it from? Can they explain it to you? Did they explain it to you? Can you ask them a follow-up? Can you call them? Can you email them? It's the Eagles game. You can't talk to the game either. So you just paid your money, came in, you were motivated and entertained, and you walked out the same way you walked in. And that's what's happening to most of the places that we're going and have been going. But we feel better about going to one than the other. But the net effect is the same. So we feel better because we earned it. Oh, well, I went, so now I can pray. Or I went, so now I have a right to, I went. So we justify our actions because it makes us feel better about actually pursuing what we want. But we're pursuing what we want because we're pursuing because we don't own. We don't own because we don't know who we are. So when you come here, all I want to do is help you realize who you are, because once you realize who you are, then you'll take control of your life. You'll realize that you are life itself. The physical thing that you call life, your body, that is being governed by consciousness. That is what Jesus kept saying, I and my Father are one. Jesus represents your higher mind, but really it is humans' awareness that consciousness rules it. It's the physical awareness that consciousness is ruling it. I and my Father are one. I only do what I see the Father do. It's not me that does the works. It's my Father in me. Father being I am, consciousness. It's your awareness of being that's doing all the work according to what it's aware of being. And your free will is to choose what you're aware of being. But if you don't know who you are, see, most people have a hard time with me because I don't really do the victim thing, right? Because I don't get to be one. So I'm not going to tolerate you being one. If I don't get to cry, whine, and complain, I'm surely not going to let you do it. If I don't get to get in on it. Now, if you get to do it and you win it, man, I'll be Keith Sweat. I'll be the cryingest, whiningest person you have ever seen. I'll be on my knees like Eddie Kane, crawling around, rolling on my. I'll be him. I have no shame in my game. Whatever it takes to work, I'm willing to do it. Right? But the victim thing, nobody ever talks about that, right? They do, but they don't really talk about victim. Do you know what the worst thing about being a victim is? What's the worst thing? So meaning victim, meaning when you're out here crying and whining, when you're out here crying and whining to your friend, crying and whining to your pastor, crying and whining to anybody and everyone who will listen, when you want to do it across any platform you can find, all your friends, you done wore everybody out. You know what the worst part about being that person is? Being that in that state of mind? Because victim is not a person. It's a state.
It doesn't do anything.
It's powerless.
Doesn't change anything. Yeah.
It's what you chose. You chose it.
So then why are you complaining about it? So if you went to a department store and bought a shirt, paid your money, looked at the shirt, bought the shirt, went home and wore it, and you complained about it, and now you're sitting here complaining about it, what kind of fool are you? If you chose it, you said you chose it. You said it doesn't change anything. So then why are you doing it? But what is What is the word? It doesn't change anything. Yeah. Do you know what a victim? A victim, you only have two options as a victim. You know what they are?
Give up or keep going. To be a victim or not be a victim.
Nope. You already are a victim. You're already there. What is it? You got two options.
How long are you gonna sit in it?
As,
Take it or shut up.
as a victim, you only have two options. You only have two things that are going to come to you in this state of victimhood. You either need a savior or a scapegoat. Now, think of all the victims, because none of these could be you. I know you're not a victim. Praise the Lord. I know it's not you. So think of all the victims in your life that you know. They are operating in one of these two. Everyone in their world becomes one of these two things: a savior or a scapegoat. Take a look at the people you know in your mind. Every person in their world becomes one of these two. It's either always everyone else's fault, or they want you to be the savior. It's either your fault or save me. The problem with being a victim is that it doesn't, even when people do save you or you're able to blame somebody, you're still the victim. You're not changing anything. You're not moving. Nothing is actually happening different. Nothing is actually happening. So even though you're blaming people and people are listening, even though you found somebody who's going to take care of it and take care of you and all the other things, you're still being this. That means these two people have to stay forever. But the savior or the scapegoat, they don't enjoy you for long. They don't want to be around you for long. And when you keep meeting these people, it's because you keep being this person. You keep staying in this state. These two things, this victimhood is a state. It's not a person. It's a state. It's a state of consciousness. It is a state of consciousness that you embody because of the way you're thinking, because of your diet, the menu of thoughts that you entertain. So when you're a victim, saviors and scapegoats are all you have. And neither one of them change who you're being, so it doesn't take you out of the state. So that's why even though the savior gives the victim $20, what happens next week?
Let me get $20.
They're always going to need it.
Because they haven't moved. Right? They haven't moved.
Wow.
If our kids never grew up, for us who are parents, if our kids never grew up, do you know how many diapers we'd be changing? Or how many rides to games? And we'd still be giving rides to games, practices, right? If they never grow up out of that state, the things that you had to do for them in that state remain forever, right? Well, victim or victimhood is a state. So even though you gave them $20 and they swore it was the last time they asked, and you swore it was the last time you were going to give it to them, has that held itself to be true? What?
No, it hasn't. They're still a victim.
And so if they're still the victim, guess who you are? You're either the same. If you give them the $20, who are you? What? Who are you?
The savior.
If you don't give them $20, who are you?
Scapegoat.
Yep. You didn't give me $20. If you would have gave me $20, I could have went to the interview. I had a suit already clean. Like, people will blame you for not giving them what they don't have themselves. Because that's what the state of victimhood does. It's not a person, it is a state of consciousness. In your right mind, you would never enter there. It's like walking down a dark alley and you see 50 people there with guns, baseball bats, 4 pit bulls, and an alligator, and you're just going to walk down there anyway. It's not something in your right mind you'd ever pick. But that's the point is, you're not in your right mind. But you're not in your right mind because your diet is bad. Your mental diet is poor. What you are feasting on, what your brain, what your mind is feasting on is incorrect.
Mm.
Your information is incorrect. But you justify your life by your actions. Look how hard I work. Look how long I work. I'm a good person. I work 3 overtimes. I got 5 jobs. I wake up early. You're justifying your life through your actions, but your actions are being driven by your thoughts. And if your thoughts are poor, how do you think your actions are better? You cannot live better than you think. You live according to what you think because life is thought. I am is life. Consciousness is life. It's expressed physically. Physicality is not life. Was it in the beginning? What does it say in the book? In Genesis 1, it says what? In the beginning, what?
God.
God. What did it say? Humanity?
No.
So then who was here first?
I am.
I am. So I am is here first. So that means consciousness, awareness is here first. Your consciousness, your awareness is preceding every action you take. Humanity is only the vehicle, like Monique was saying, is only the vehicle through which consciousness is operating through. Humanity is not operating independently. It did not show up and, hey man, I'm here too. It didn't create itself. It was created by consciousness so that consciousness can move through it. Just like the car didn't show up, it was made at a manufacturing plant by I am. I am Jenny. I am Caesar. I am Henry. I am Julie. I am made that car. So I am is in control of that car. I am is using the car based on its own. I want to go somewhere. I want to do whatever. So the car just didn't show up. Humanity just didn't show up. The body just didn't show up. So it is being governed by I am. That is what Jesus is always talking about, the Father. The Father is I am. Your awareness is your Father. It is the parent. It is the thing that is governing this whole situation. It's not your body. It's not, you're not going to get, you can't physically outdo that. Just like your kids think they can talk back until they realize they can't. In one way or another, you made sure they realize they cannot. Well, it's the same thing. Your humanity can't talk back to consciousness. Consciousness was here. I am was here first. Who you really are, your divinity is I am. That's why we all say it. When Moses asked, what is your name? God said, I am. God is a title, like mother or father. It is not a name. It is a title. It's really a verb. It is consciousness. It is an action. Every action is made by I am. It's a being. It's being. I am is being. So who are you being? So when you say I am poor, you're talking, all you're doing is victim, but poor is a state just like victim. So all you're doing is all you're doing is describing the state of consciousness that you've occupied. You're looking around saying, oh, I am poor. You're talking, you think you're describing a physical thing. No, but you're describing an awareness. Is really what you're describing. You're looking around from where you are and say, oh, I am poor. Just like you look around where you are and say, oh, I am at a game, or I am. So if you're at a game, you would describe all the things. So when somebody says I'm poor, they describe all the things. I'm poor, or I can't pay my bills, or I can't buy what I want. They're describing their awareness. They're describing what they're aware of. Right? So this is what we have to first understand. Is your mental diet, what it is you're telling yourself all the time, what it is you're entertaining, or whatever it is you're fasting from, whatever you're abstaining from, restricting. I restrict that thought. Restrict, R-E, read. What does read mean? We talked about it last week. What does read mean?
Like
To go
again,
back.
or
To go back. It's a prefix. It means to go back. To go back or do again. Okay, and then strict. What does that mean?
But strict?
Yes, what does that mean?
You said what
I
is
don't.
strict? Did you say what does strict mean or what does restrict mean?
What does strict mean?
Go
Being
back.
Strict
hard,
means
Go back.
harsh.
being hard on yourself,
Being
holding yourself
harsh, yeah.
accountable.
Strict,
Hard on yourself?
Not
stern.
hard on yourself. That was the word stern.
Stern? Why would you need to be stern with yourself? Think about it.
Discipline.
What does discipline mean? What does that word come from?
Disciple.
Which means what?
Follower,
No.
Student.
Nope.
Hold on.
It means to be taught daily. Jesus was head of the disciples. So awareness is teaching humanity daily. That's what disciple means. It means to be taught daily. So if you are being taught, why do you strict, right? Restrict. It means to have boundaries, borders. You're not letting everything just fly off. You understand this works like this works like that. When you're on your game, when you know who you are, strict is just like, no, I have order. I have discipline. I've been taught. I'm aware. There's a boundary, it's a border. Knowledge, no ledge, strict ledge. It goes this far and that's it. You don't have to, when you have knowledge, that you're not mad. Aren't you happy when you know something?
Every morning you wake up.
When you know the ledge of something? When you know when something starts and stops? Right? It is a sense of order. But what do we say? Soon as we apply it physically and we forget who we are, it goes into punishment. It goes into all these things. This is how we treat our humanity. We're constantly punishing it due to our ignorance of not knowing who we are. But we're ignorant not because we intend to be, not because, and especially because we put in the labor to not be, but we're not looking at what we're learning or where we're learning. We're just taking it as truth because of what we mean to get. Since I went here, it's got to be good. Since I went here, it's got to be true. Since they said it, it's got to be true. Does it? Have you done any work to verify that that's the truth? How many of us do it? We don't. But the book says, study to show yourself approved. How many people do it? How many people do it? We just don't, right? But now we're trying to live life in this world, and we wonder why it's a hard time. It is a hard time to a fool. It is a hard time if you're ignorant, if you're lacking knowledge. A fool, my definition of it is someone acting without knowledge, without information. That's my own personal definition. And I would tell people all the time, a fool doesn't stay free long. You just don't. Because every choice that you make has an outcome. People call it a consequence. It's just an outcome. It's an action and a reaction. It's not a consequence like it's a fault or a judgment or a criticism or a blame. It's just an outcome based on it is the out based on the beginning. It's the outcome. It's the end result of a beginning. And every beginning starts with a what?
Thought.
With a thought. So diet and fasting be physical. They're not. They cannot be. They're not. They're expressed that way. But don't ever confuse expression for origin. Don't confuse expression for origin. Origin is the creation. Origin is I am. Expression is humanity. It's I am expressing itself through this vehicle, what a human body, and with I am in it, it becomes humanity. it becomes a living thing. But it's only made alive by life itself, and that's I am. Because when God created the body, it created from the dust of the ground. It only became a living being when what happened?
The breath of
God
life.
breathed breath.
So without the breath, the human body is what?
Dead.
So then why are you attributing all of your success or failure to your humanity? When without the breath of life, without I am, there is no thing called humanity. So then where do you think your success or failure is actually happening?
In your mind.
In your awareness, in your consciousness. Your mind is a receptacle of consciousness. So your consciousness is saying, okay, I'm choosing to be this or that, the other, and then that thing goes into that awareness goes into your mind as what you would call a thought or an idea. And then your body, you use your body to act that out. Now, which thoughts does I am choose? Which ones are those?
The ones they want. The ones I am wants.
So the ones that I'm aware
All of
of.
them. All of them.
Can't choose.
What? Did you what? I said, which thoughts does I am choose?
All your thoughts.
Which ones does I am choose to act on?
The ones that work in your favor towards a goal, whatever the vision is.
Are you making?
I don't want to get the answer wrong, obviously. However,
Well,
I'm okay. You know, if I do, it's okay. It's okay.
nonsense. We don't. Why not? Let me say, you know what? That's great. You said it. Why not? You got most everything else wrong. Ain't nobody else telling you the truth. Nobody else is telling you the truth about hardly anything. Literally, remember this class? Remember this class when I first started, how many words I used to use?
That we didn't know the meaning of?
Yes. Remember that?
Yes.
Yeah. And so every time we said them, were we right at the beginning?
No.
Nope.
You've been wrong for a whole lot of time. It's okay.
College words.
We are here to, those things were used to impress a truth. The truth is, it's not about, we don't care about whether we're right or wrong here. We care about learning. We care about understanding the truth, but getting information. That's all we care about here, right? But I'm going to give you an example. I want somebody, give me somebody on here who's never spoken before. I want a new person on here. Who wants to volunteer?
He'll draft you.
I sure will.
We volunteer the king.
Hey, Lucky Champ said he'll do it.
Okay. All right. Phone, so I can hear him.
Hello?
Hey, all right. You ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
This is my nephew, and I will fire him too if he's wrong. What is the word, Vanessa? Pull it up for me. You'll see when I put it up on the board. What is the word smart mean? Smart. What does that word mean?
Like, it means you know a lot of, like, knowledge, maybe.
Okay.
Or
for corroborating evidence. Sarita, what does that word mean?
Intelligent, knowing, understanding.
All right, bring it up. Bring up the word. Survey says. What does it mean?
To cause pain, to suffer pain. Be painful.
Smart. Smart means to cause pain or to suffer pain.
Dang it.
What?
Right.
Yes, like an injury or something. It's
Right.
smarting. Yeah.
Smarting. Where's so and so? Oh, he's over there smarting. Smarting means hurting. It means to hurt or suffer pain, to cause hurt, to bite into. How many people knew that?
I did.
Right, because I told you. Right?
No, I heard that before.
Groups of people who are there understand things that other people who aren't there don't. That's just what it is. Because it's information 24/7 dealing with me. Because we'll see with I'm going to say it this way. With information, you're free. There's simple. You use this word all the time. Don't even know what it means. Smart, right? That's not what the word means. You're using the word connotatively, meaning the way that everyone uses it. But it is not connotative. This word is not connotative, it's denotative. All of the meanings of words are denotative. D meaning complete, note, D meaning complete, note meaning whole. What the whole word means. Doesn't matter what you think it means. It's not what it means. Doesn't matter that you think you're going somewhere and learning something. You're not, unless you are. So does your life show you that you are? Do you know what you say you know or think you know? Do you have proof of that? Do you have fruit that bears that out? There's a whole lot of things we think we know that aren't true. That are not true. Vanessa, go back to the slides, please. I'm gonna give you another one. Some of you I've seen. Go to the one because I don't go to the which one is it? Go to the first one on the left. Yep. All right. Okay. So who is that right there on the left? Who's that on the screen?
Lincoln. Lincoln.
Who?
It says Lincoln.
Who is that?
Abraham.
Abraham Lincoln. Okay. That's Abraham Lincoln, right? All right. Everybody see him?
Yep.
Everybody see him?
We
Yes.
see.
Yeah. No, there's a bunch of you on here. Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Go down. Down, 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 down. Keep going down. Down, down. Where is it? Is it
The end. You want me to go up?
Go up. Yeah. Go up. Where is it? Up, up. No, right there. In the purple, right there. All right, Sarita, read that.
If any personal description of me is thought desired, desirable, it may be said I am in height 6 feet 4 inches, nearly lean in flesh, weighing on average 180 pounds, dark complexion with coarse black hair and gray eyes. No other marks or brands recollected.
Okay, go back down. So who is that then? Who is that then? Who is that? Is what you just read what you're looking at?
No.
Now, this is an autobiography. What does that mean?
What the individual wrote about themselves.
What the individual wrote about themselves. This is not someone else writing it about them. This is what they said about themselves. This is the autobiography. This is part of his it's an autobiography. They took some of his writings out of his autobiography and are talking about a particular part of it. But this is him describing himself. He said, go back down. There's a key thing in here to the purple. Okay. What is the key thing that is said in there?
His personal description?
Nope.
Is it thought?
Nope.
Can you read it again? I can't see it.
If any personal description of me is thought desired or desirable, it may be said, I am in height 6 feet 4 inches, nearly lean in flesh, weighing on average 180 pounds, dark complexion with coarse black hair and gray eyes. No other marks or brands recollected. Now, the no other marks or brands recollected, that's a whole story in and of itself. Because if
But
you
he said he's dark complexion, and he's not a dark complexion person at all.
say it again.
He in the profile description it says dark complexion, but there's nothing about his complexion that's dark.
So, well, how do you know that that's who you're looking at? If he about himself, how's there nothing about him that's dark? If he described himself as that, with coarse black hair.
Mm-hmm.
Lord have mercy.
So why is the picture right, but his own self-description wrong?
Perhaps that's his perception of himself based on his surroundings.
Or perhaps people lightened his photos
That
and made
part.
him look like he like much like they did Jesus. Because
That
Jesus
part,
ain't
too.
he's not white.
Do you know? All right, I want you to go into the okay, get a new search bar and go into the etymology dictionary, and I want you to look up the word brunette. What does brunette mean?
I thought it was dark hair.
Okay.
I thought it was red hair. Oh.
Okay. No, it's TTE. Yeah. Okay. What does it say?
A woman, dark in complexion, having a brownish tone to the skin. Did he just drop the marker?
Wow.
Having a brownish tone to the skin and hair.
I cannot.
You're wrong. Right? But guess what? Do you know who's described as a brunette?
A Caucasian woman with red hair.
Nope. So this is brunette, right? Of a woman, dark in complexion. Dark.
Grandma just left.
Who else just described himself?
Lincoln.
Lincoln. His mother was described as a brunette.
Female dogs.
His mother is described as a brunette. The description of his mother, she was a brunette. And what did it say? Dark in complexion.
Are they meaning more tanned and not really dark? Because
say it again.
Are they meaning more on the tanned side of things?
No, they mean what they say. Just like if you said, if a girl was like, girl, what's he look like? Oh, girl, he's dark skinned. You wouldn't be talking about Genuine, would you? Okay, so why are we trying to change it? No, it is. But what you're experiencing right now, as the fancy word people like to say, is cognitive dissonance.
Mm-hmm.
You are holding on to what somebody told you about someone, and you won't listen to the person who described themselves. You're calling the person who described themselves a liar, and the people who told you there's something else is the truth. How's that? You don't think you know what you look like? Why you think this man was the president? He was a lawyer. You don't think he knew what dark complexion meant? Brunette, dark in complexion, dark. Didn't say brown, beige, mixed, light-skinned.
Light-skinned.
Not light-skinned.
Yeah. Just for everybody, make sure everybody's included. Dark complexion with coarse black hair. That's why I said, what does brunette mean? See, when I tell you things, there are a lot of things I know that a lot of people don't. So when I'm telling you something, I may be using one word or one sentence, but I'm bringing in a bunch of information from different places to impress a point. So when I say, how can you live a life better than what you think, when what you think was not correct? You've been lied to about a whole lot of things, but this is not about making it a conspiracy theory. This is not, it's just showing you that so many things that you think are true are not what you think they are. So you're following something with good intentions and wondering why you're not ending up in the place you desire to be. That's my point. I don't care about Abraham Lincoln being black. I don't care about Hitler being black. Most people don't know that.
Wait, say what?
Out there to you. But if you'll never know that if you don't do any research. Yeah.
I missed it too.
Hitler, that dude.
Who?
Yeah.
Hitler.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's another class.
So before you go running your mouth and thinking you know what you're talking about, do some research. Because if any of you have been here long enough, you'll know that I've already done that. But you're not going to find it on Google or AI, because AI only can pull from things online. And if it's not put online, or if it's erased offline, AI is not going to know that. So don't waste your time with that either. You actually have to do what the book says, study. And anybody who knows me knows I've done that. So whether it's law, health, history, or what we're talking about now, that's how I got into all this. Because I was like, yeah, what they say about law is not correct, or health is not correct, or health this or that. It's like, well, wait a minute. Well, what else am I thinking that's true, that's not true, and wondering why I'm not ending up where I thought I should be? I don't care nothing about Abraham Lincoln. That don't put no money in my pocket. But just knowing that actually, just because somebody told you something, or because they put up a picture of someone else and called it Abraham Lincoln, it's not true. But you believe it because we've been raised to believe certain things. And then when the person describes themselves as dark complexion, you're like, well, maybe they meant what they said. But you're trying to change it because it doesn't agree with what you've been told. But by people who don't know. By who? Your teacher, who's reading the same book that you got. They didn't study it either. But you look it up, and you look up what the European Council talked about, the swarthy little German Hitler. And when you look at what swarthy means, and this is an actual congressional records, this isn't like some kind of, but you have to find it. You have to know where you're going and what you're looking for. That's the point. So my point is, there's a whole lot of things. There's a bunch of other slides I could tell you, right? Let's see here. Who else? Give me another person. Another new person. Come on, let's go. We ain't got all night.
Who wants to volunteer? I think King is Marlon, right?
Yeah, that's me. I go.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
Marlon's
What
not
you gonna
new.
ask?
No. You know who I'm gonna go to? Leanne.
Leanne, are you available?
Yeah, that's where I'm going to today. Perfect. Yeah, can't hide. Oh, Marlon, I'll be back for you. Leanne, what is so some of us have been here, so I'm going to go back to one of the original. What does the word nice mean?
Oh, I know that.
Oh, God.
Look, everybody already feels bad for you already.
Nice means to be pleasant with others. Yeah.
Yes, Sarita. Don't it sound crazy when you know the answer? Now you know. Now you see why I sit up here and be like, and you really try to talk crazy to me, and you don't know what in God's name you're talking about, right? But that's the whole thing, is that we've been told things that aren't true, and we're living our life on a whole bunch of stuff that's not true, and wondering why we don't like it. Okay, Vanessa, bring up the slide, please. So you can see I'm showing you where it is. I'm not. What does it say?
In reference to persons, foolish, ignorant, frivolous, senseless. This is in late 13th century.
12th century. Before that, careless.
It was careless, clumsy, weak, poor, needy, simple, stupid, silly, foolish.
Oh, they're so
like
nice.
drunk. Like when somebody's nice, they drunk.
So
Well,
it's like
nice.
one of those those backhand compliments, like, oh, that little nice person. Oh,
well,
that's
no,
nice.
it's what it meant. Because it's a word, right? The ni in the word means no or not. The ce in the word comes from the root of the word science, which means knowledge. What the word science means. So it means not, you don't know. It means you're simple, stupid, fool, like you don't know. You're ignorant. You don't know. That's what the word nice means.
Boy, was I wrong.
You don't know what you don't know. whatever it is, as a whatever topic you're talking about, or whether it's just you in general, you don't know. Yeah, and you can put all the links in the thing of the video, so that way people can see it and they can have it for themselves. But that's the whole point. Competition. Anybody know what that word means?
Well, I guess I might as well take a chance.
Go for it.
Right.
Competition is to go against or attempt to outdo.
All right, stay right there. Go
I
right
was
where it says in classical Latin, halfway down the middle. Nope, go down right about where it says in classical, right there. What does it say?
To meet or come together, agree or coincide, to be qualified. From come with, together.
And pater, right?
Pater, to strive, seek.
So it is a root thing. It is a compound word. Com, right, means together. Patere, right, means with, or like it means to strive,
To strive.
right? Strive, to strive together. So a competition, when you go see an Eagles game, the Eagles and the Giants put on a competition. They are working together in order to present something to you as an audience that you will watch. So while they look like they're two opposing teams, they're actually working together to put on because the game is the one thing that draws them together. So that they're two opposing teams, but that's not what competition is. Competition is the fact that they are two units working together to present a game to you that you will watch and pay for. That's what competition is. To strive together to put something on, to produce something. But people tell you, oh, you're not in competition with another person. You don't even know what that word means. Right? And these are just little words, but the point is, how many things do you think you know that you don't? How many things do you think that you're using that you think to be true, that you believe to be true, are not true? You're doing it constantly. So you believe that you are somebody else is your competition. Don't even know what the word means. You believe that you're a nice guy. Too bad for you. You believe that you're a this or that. Now, we're not talking about you have to live and die by the words. That's not the point of it. But the point of it is to say, like I said, I drew the analogy, right, of church and the Eagles game as the same outcome for most people. It's the same. You are being motivated and you are being entertained, but you're not being informed by either one of these 99% of the time. But you feel better about going one over one. You feel better about saying you went to church because you're a good person now. But when you walk out there on Wednesday, nobody ever knew you went. Your life don't look like you went. Your spouse can't tell you went. Your kids don't look like you went. Your money don't look like you went. Your health don't look like you went. You don't know anything about it. Now, what I say at Abraham Lincoln, I said, what was the two most important words in that purple? Nobody said, I am. If I were to describe myself, let it be said, what was the first thing he said? I am. I am. So tell me, so I am is lying now. It is awareness telling you what it created. I am. God is. I am. Same thing. In height, 6'4" nearly, almost. Lean in flesh, weighing on average 180 pounds. Dark complexion. Dark. It didn't say brown. Didn't say color. It said dark. With coarse black hair and gray eyes. No other marks or brands recollected. Do you know what that last part of the sentence means? I'll go into that a little bit, not too much, but just a little bit. Do you know what that means? Do you know why he said that?
He's not a slave.
Correct. It is talking about it is either ever or at all, but there are no marks of denotation or notification branding on that person. That is absolutely correct.
And why would he have to say that if he was white?
Correct. Oh,
Mm.
but guess what? What who who knows what an indentured servant is? What is an indentured servant?
A slave.
No.
They're repaying a debt.
Yeah, so basically they're under contract. Do you know what this word? Do you know what
An employee?
And as an employee. What you call today's employee was originally an indentured servant. It was a contract for labor entered in between the laborer and the owner of something, or whoever you're interacting with, to to it's a contract. It's a term of employment for a certain amount of time. Do you know who probably one of the most famous indentured servants is?
Benjamin Franklin.
Benjamin Franklin. His brother, his older brother, was the founder of the Boston Current, which is the second newspaper in this country. I don't know if it still exists, but it was there's a second one. And so his brother got in trouble with his father. Their father sold Benjamin Franklin to his brother as an indentured servant. This is what when people would call what you would call apprentices as well. This is apprenticeship. So his brother learning a trade was the dad's benefit. So he paid the brother for teaching his son a trade. They would basically loan their kids out to families. In this case, he did it to his older brother. But people would sell their kids to somebody across the street. So I may want my daughter to learn how to run a business. So I call Marlon up and be like, hey man, I want you to teach my daughter how to run a business. He's like, all right, bet, I'll do it. And then Marlon gives me some money for it because he's going to get free labor. And I give Marlon my daughter, and Marlon teach her how to run a business. But Marlon gets free labor until she's 21, and I might sell her to Marlon when she's 14 to learn how to build that skill. That's what an apprenticeship was. That's how people learn skills. There were no schools, so people learned from the people who knew. So when I tell you what is a diet, when I tell you what is fasting, when I tell you these things, right? When I tell you certain things, I'm pulling from a plethora of knowledge to tell you one thing, right? But what I'm telling you about anything is that every physical thing in your world is first started with a thought, with consciousness. And you can't change anything in your physical world until you change the thing that created it or is creating it. Nothing ever exists or remains in existence without the thing that created it, which is I am, or which is consciousness. So what you're thinking and how you're thinking is what you call reality. But reality is nothing but consciousness in physical form. Reality is consciousness. Consciousness is reality. What humanity just doesn't count it until it sees it, until it becomes in their 5 sense world. But I'm using these examples to show you that most of what you're thinking is not correct. None of us, most of us have never been educated properly on the truth of anything. But when you control what someone thinks, you control what they do. When you control what someone thinks, you control their options. And you control what they do. What they think is possible, impossible, real, or not real. Right? Just simple things that you would swear are completely different than what they actually are. Okay, let's see here. Marlon, since I see you, I told you I'd come back to you. The sun. What month is the sun? What month is the earth closest to the sun? You're
July.
Off. December.
So Leanne said July. Marlon says what?
December.
December?
Yep.
All right. Which one of these is correct?
Barco Bailey put August in the chat.
August?
Monique also said December. With question marks.
They can't both be correct. Which one is it? All right. What does paraphilion mean? What does aphelion mean? Vanessa, go up in there. In the slide, please. I'm sorry. In the slide. Yep, here we go.
Oh, I was on mute. Sorry. The Earth is closest to the sun at its perihelion about 2 weeks after the December solstice, and furthest from the sun at its aphelion about 2 weeks after the June solstice.
Keep going down. So, what right there? Year 2026. Periphelion means close. Para meaning close. January 3rd. It is what? Today?
Today?
January 23rd, 2026.
15
Huh?
at 9:15. That's today.
That's today.
That's today.
It's closest to the earth basically right now. So what people don't understand is that right now, what we call summer is the effect of this. Right now, the sun is as close to the earth as it's going to be. So every day, it's now backing, so to speak. The earth is tilting on its axis, let's say. It's tilting, that's better said. It's tilting on its axis away from the sun. But right now, it's closest to the sun. So it's the heating up the earth like a popcorn bag in the microwave. And it heats it up all the way from now all the way into what we call summer. Summer is essentially when the bag bursts and all the heat that's been placed on the bag bursts open. So the heat from the bag comes out. That heat is called summer. It's the release of the buildup of heat through the months closest to when the earth was tilted where the sun can see it, where the sun is closest to it. It's not that it actually moves like that. It stays the same, but it tilts on its axis.
And this is Pacific Standard Time, so that means it's in a little bit under an hour from now, because right now it's 8:24 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, and this is at 9:15 Pacific Standard Time. So that's pretty cool. Hasn't happened yet.
Right? Does anybody talk to you about that in school? Anybody? Did anybody tell you? Anybody?
Hell no.
No.
Hell no.
Oh, the summer, man, the sun is so close to the planet, the earth, man, it's so hot out here. The sun is closest right now when it's coldest.
It has to be to warm it up.
It's closest when it's coldest, right? So it's completely, my point is, it's counterintuitive. Most people wouldn't assume that to be the case. But it doesn't matter what you assume or what you think. It only matters what you know. And you're living your life on what you know. How much do you know? How much are you living your life on things that aren't even true? And you're believing whole hard into them, holding on to them, rationalizing them, reasoning. Oh, well, yeah, but I'm a good person. I'm this. Oh, I'm nice. Oh, I'm this. Oh, I'm okay. Well, that's what you choose. But these are just little examples to say everything is not, it's not what you think it is in general. But if you don't study, no one's going to tell you, and you don't know that you don't know because you don't study. You don't study yourself, you don't know yourself. So you're just out here running around thinking because you got a mustache and a driver's license that you've grown. But you're only as grown as your information is. You're only as grown as what you own. And most of us don't own information. We're just renting motivation and renting entertainment. We're just entertained. We go to most of these places, we're just entertained. You're not being informed. And without information, you can't live well. You can try hard, you can mean well, you can be a good person. That doesn't mean anything. It means literally nothing. It's what you tell yourself. It's just not, it's at best a palliative measure. It's a coping mechanism. Something that you tell yourself is good to be, but does it add any more money to your bank account? Does it make you healthier? Does it make your business do better? Does it make you, it doesn't. Yes, Sparkle Bailey.
Because thank you for letting me say this, coach, because you're doing a lot right now. So basically what you're telling me is that I have to start over because what I think I know, I don't know. Do you understand how much pressure that is? I have to start all the way over because nice doesn't mean what I thought. Smart means pain. All these things that I have just walked around with confidence means that. And the confidence, just walking around here confidently lost. And it's just like it feels like I need to go back to school, and not in the sense of the way that I've done it in the past, but more or less in the sense that I need to re-educate myself from the pre-K information to the collegiate level, but I need to do it in a different way. I'm not going back to the same places that taught me lies, or taught me, improper information, or they taught me that Abraham Lincoln looked this way when he described himself to look this way. Like, I can't go back to those sources, but I still need the information. That is a ton of information for, an adult, because we're taught all this crap, as children. And then I'm sitting here processing, so I have to start over. Like, I gotta learn this all the way. Like, hold up. Like, I'm laughing, but I'm over here, my chest is tight. I'm a little salty, like, wait, I really gotta what? Like, let's go there.
Well, yes, you do have to start over, but not with this information. What you have to start over with, if I were to use the word start over, what you have to start over is you have to redefine your priority. And the priority should be information above all things. Information. I'm not saying you don't have to, nice, that ain't gonna change your checkbook. It's just something to make a point, right? It's not gonna change your health. It's not gonna make you, we're not subject to words, we're not dying by words. That's not the point. But the point is that what is the difference between nice and tithing? Anybody know what that meant? How many times we thought we knew what that meant and it didn't? Right? So if you're doing this thinking it means this, then, but it doesn't mean that. So then what do you do? Right? So in nice in the academic world is one thing. This in your let's just say in your spiritual life, let's say, just using the word spiritual life, this means something. But if you don't know what it means and you think it means this, then you're going to be giving this and wondering why you didn't get nothing. Because this doesn't mean that. Tithing doesn't mean dollars. That's not what it means. That's not ever what it meant. That's what somebody told you it meant. But that's not what, but if you don't, how do you think I found out? I did a thing that the same book that you claim to follow. Study. Do it. Are you too busy to know? Then you too busy to live. Well, you got to pick and choose. But then that's why, because if you don't know, guess what you are? You are a victim. You are waiting. You are little Bo Peep, Little Red Riding Hood, walking through amongst the wolves. Waiting, you're a victim waiting to be victimized. And that's what most people are, because the victim is basically just someone ignorant. That's when you get into a state of ignorance, you're now eligible to be victim, you're now turning yourself into a victim to somebody who knows. So then now that you're a victim, now you're eligible to be victimized. So now they turn this word tithing into dollars, and because you don't study, you don't know that that's not what the book is saying. That's not what it says, said, means, meant, ever. Now you're giving this away thinking that if I give this away, now I can pray and get my prayers answered, and then you wonder why they're still not answered. Because you only did this because they told you to. But you did this because they told you to, because you want that. You want your prayer to be answered. And that makes sense. That makes sense. That's logical, but it's just not truthful. But if you don't take any time to, what does it say? Know thyself. Yourself. The self of you. You. I am is you. Sparkle Bailey is humanity, is human. But you is in charge of the human. But if you leave the human in charge of you, you're going to end up doing things like that. You're being misled, misguided, misinformed, misdirected. It's not true. I'm not telling people, I've never told people don't go to church. I'm not hating. I've never mentioned the church. I don't have one. Like, you come to me. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not telling anybody don't go. I'm not trying to take anything. But if I can take it from you, you don't have it. If I can take it from you, you don't own it anyway. You don't know it anyway. So what do you think you're doing? You're not doing, you have you have a connotative religion. You don't have a relationship. And that's all most of us have is a religion. We have something we know of but don't know anything about. And I'm using that connotatively. Denotatively, religion means a completely different thing than how people use it. I'm just using it right now connotatively and the way everybody uses it so we can be on the same page. You have a religion. Most people, most Christians sign up for Christian. Most Christians, you know what Christianity is to most people? Another word equals job. People approach it like it's a job. They clock on and clock off with it. You talk to them in this area of life, you can tell they're a Christian. Over here, you would never know. On Tuesday morning, they sound like a Christian. On Saturday night, you'd be like, didn't I see you at church? What? You'd never know. When they're talking about their kids, it sounds like they're a Christian. When they're talking about their bills, you'd never know. They act like it's a job, like you can clock on and clock off. Most Christians they're just employees of a religion. That's what most of us are. That's what, growing up. We don't know anything. We're not told the truth. We don't know what any of these words mean. We don't know what Calvary means. We don't know what Moses means. We don't know what Daniel means. We just think they're names, and we just think that they're historical stories in the book when they're not. Daniel means something. Moses means something. Those stories are built out around those names and everything like that to imply or to impart a meaning to you. Exoterically, outwardly, they're a story. Esoterically is where the truth of that story is what it's about. But if you don't study and you're not being taught by somebody who knows and is telling you the truth, you don't know, even though you went. Even though you tithe, even though you're a good person, you still don't have any information. Look at the word. Look at the word. Information. In. Where's this stuff? Where's you going to all these places? What is all this stuff you're doing supposed to do?
Form a thought.
What is it supposed to do?
Provide you knowledge within for alignment.
Basically, it's supposed to form you. It's supposed to form you. Formation is supposed to put you in line. Alignment, inwardly, in. It's supposed to affect you in. It's not affecting you in. It's only motivating you outwardly. It's only exciting you outwardly. It's only entertaining you outwardly. It's not changing you. It's not forming you inwardly. That's why you remain the same. That's why things are the same. That's why they're not changing, because in is I am. You are not realizing who you are. It's to form you inwardly. It's all the information is designed to go inward. You hear it externally, it's designed to change you internally. But motivation doesn't do that. Entertainment doesn't do that. Only inspiration does that. In, right? To breathe, fire, to breathe. In, from within. That's what inspiration means, to breathe from within. Anytime you hear something of truth, it is designed to inspire you, to wake you up from within. If you have a car, I use this analogy. If you have a car every day and you need to get jumped by AAA, being jumped by AAA every day is motivation. If you have a car and every time you turn it on it starts, that is inspiration. That means the battery is firing from within. It's able to fire its own self up with stimulus. So when you have an idea and you're inspired, you're fired up from within. You don't care if this or that. When Marlon was building out his liquid stuff, all he was doing, there was nobody there at first. There was nobody, customers there. He had to build the shop out and do all the stuff he did. I was inspired. There was no one else around to help, there's no one else around to do the things that he needed to get done. That had to be driven from within. Even when he had opposition telling him they couldn't do it. He couldn't do it, or it wasn't going to work like that. He was inspired. Inspired. But most of us are motivated. But then what do people say? Oh, I'm not motivated. I'm just not motivated. Well, then you're looking for an external source. You're looking for something outside of you to get you to do or be what you think you want to do or be. Then you don't really want to be that. But you don't know how to be inspired because we've never taught to be inspired. All the information we're giving is to motivate and entertain. And most people don't realize that there's a difference between motivation and entertainment and inspiration and information. In, right? It's not the same. Entertainment, the N on this is not the same. It's EN. This is EX. There's either an E or an I. The E is out, the I is in. You don't win anything from the outside. You only win from the inside. Winning is an inside job. Wealth is an inside job. Health is an inside job. Success is an inside job. These are internal, these are inspired things. They're things that you already are. You are wealth. You are success. You are. So any external thing is designed to light you. It's designed to wake you, the gifts within you up. That's what a desire is. A desire is an idea, right, designed to inspire, to wake up the gift within you to become that thing. But the idea and the inspiration are both where? Within. They're not Tony Robbins coming down from somewhere for an hour yelling at you and you fired up, and then by Tuesday, you're right back to where you were. They're not going where you go and then on the weekend, and then by Tuesday, you're right back to where you were. That's why I say there's no difference. Net effect. Oh, you may emotionally feel different. You may feel like you're a better person. You may feel like you're doing, but does the fruit tell you it's different? Does your bank account tell you it's different? Does your health, your relationships, your business, your peace, your joy, does it tell you it's different? I know a whole lot of people who go somewhere every weekend, and those are people whose phone calls I'm dodging first. I already know what's going to happen as soon as I say hello. I already know what's going to happen. Saying hello is like saying it's like watching a track meet and somebody puts the gun off and they're like, pow. As soon as I say hello, it's pow. Man, let me tell you what happened to you. Oh, it's like, man, well, hello. Oh, that's right, brother. How you doing? Hello. But then and they get right back to it. They start off with it. You got to stop them to say hello, and then they get right back on it. I'm like, man, did you stretch before you call? Because you already warm. I mean, they come out the hello, they come out the gate whining and crying. But you don't understand when you are telling me something, when you're describing something, you don't really understand what you're describing. You think you're describing a circumstance or a scenario. You think you're describing a problem. All you're describing is your environment. You're just telling me what you're looking around seeing. So when you tell me what you're looking around seeing, I can identify where you are. I can identify what state you're in. So if Marlon calls me and says, oh man, I'm over here watching Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, I took the boys to the game, but then I know he's in Oklahoma. I know what state he's in based on what he's telling me. I know where he is. So when you call me complaining, whining, crying, or you call me celebrating, laughing, and singing, you think you're talking about the circumstance or the scenario or that's not what I'm hearing. All you're doing is telling me. All you're doing is like how like on a movie when they're tapping somebody's phone and they say, "Hey, keep them talking," until they can hone in on their location. That's exactly what I'm doing when I talk to you. I'm honing in on your location. You're telling me that, okay, they're this, they're saying that, they're saying this, and I'm just narrowing it down to where you are. Because that's how I can help you. I'm like, oh, okay, if you're over here, then you need to get on a plane, or you need to ride your bike, or get on the bus, or start your car. If you're over here and you don't like it, where is it you want to go? Well, if you're in Oklahoma and you're trying to get to New York, man, well, walking ain't gonna work. A skateboard you got ain't gonna work. And biking, so we're gonna have to find a different. We're gonna have to find out first of all where you are, where you want to go, and when you need to be there by, or whatever it is, and then identify the best mode to get there. So the mode now turns, it may be affirmations, it may be you scripting, it may be you really understanding who you are, it may be a lot, it just depends on where you are, right? But the whole point is, all the things that you're describing just allows me to hone in on your state. Once I understand what state you're in, then I have a better understanding of what your options are. I can't go to upstate New York right now and be like, I'm trying to go surf. It's not going to work. Can't go to Philadelphia talking about I'm about to go surfing. It's just not going to generally work out, right? All the water's frozen. It's all snow. It's a no-go, right? So that means, okay, if I want to do something, then I have to go to a different state. If I want to have a different experience, if I want to surf, then I have to go to a different state where the water. So I got to go back probably west or south. But west, all the way west. You got to go on the other side of Colorado because it snows there. Shoot, quick, fast. They get snowed like midway through October. Right? So I have to go all the way back to the California side. Then I got to probably go down to Southern California, or I got to go on the other side of that to Hawaii, or I got to maybe go down to South Florida, but I got to move. I can't do that here. So you have to move out of certain states of mind if you want to have certain experiences, because the state of mind you're occupying have that. It doesn't. And you keep trying to surf in the snow. But you're a good person. Oh, but you mean well. Oh, but you're this or you're that. Be clear. I don't have a problem with anybody going to church. I don't have a church. I don't want you to go to mine instead. I'm not recommending one. That's not what I'm saying. I have a problem with you going anywhere where you're not actually being taught, actually given information. You going there and feeling like a good person is not going to help you. You go on there feeling like you're doing that is not going to help you. If you're not getting information, no matter where you go, whether it's school, whether it's church, whether it is the Toastmasters, whether it is the Glee Club, information is king. Why do you think the military spends so much money on reconnaissance? Why do you think they spend so much money on information? CIA, FBI, Central Intelligence? Can't be intelligent with no information. Federal Bureau of Investigations, it is to seek and acquire information. That is king. That is from which all action has to come from if you want it to be correct. But you just acting on your own and justifying because you're trying hard means nothing. And that's what most of us are doing, because we're going places where we are motivated and entertained and we're not informed. And we have been raised that way for so long, we don't even know there's a difference. We don't consciously, actively know there's a difference. So do you have to start over? No, you don't have to learn what nice means. You don't have to learn what Hitler was black. You don't have to learn Abraham Lincoln was black, his father and his mother. You don't have to learn all those things to make your checking account grow. No, but you do have to realize, like, wait a minute, I need to probably take a little more control of the information I'm getting. Let me be a little bit more perspicacious, a little bit more attentive, a little bit more aware, and make sure that what I am being told or taught or learning from anyone, anywhere is actually correct in case I want, or in the case that I should want to use it. And why are you learning about something you don't want to use or you don't want to know anyway? So then learn what you want to know, learn what you want to use, and make sure what you're learning is correct. Stop rationalizing it. Stop assuming it's correct. Study and find out. Because the whole part of this is learning how to tune your ear to the truth. The truth sounds the same. You'll start to realize it. You'll start to get better at it. I didn't know that was even true when I started, but now studying so many things for so long, I just have a better ear for it. And it doesn't mean that even if I think it's present that I don't still study or follow up, but I have a better hearing of it. Just like tuning an instrument. Your ear, my daughter sings like competitively, for lack of better words. And she was like, Dad, did you know that 75% of people are tone deaf? I was like, nah, I didn't know that. She was like, yeah. And I was like, wow. And so my daughter's not a natural singer, but she loves singing. But she's been taught how to sing. She knows functionally how to do it. She's not Mariah Carey naturally, but she knows how to sing. She knows the mechanics of it, right? And I was like, wow, I didn't know that. Yeah, most of the information you hear, because you don't know you're being, and I don't even mean always in malice, but it doesn't matter. So I'm not always saying it's malicious, but 75% of the stuff you know is not true. It's not correct, either at all or some part of it, or not enough of it, of the truth is present. And we're trying to live 100% life with on 25% of truth. And only the truth sets you free. So if you only have 25% of truth, how are you going to overcome 75% of the not, of the lie? So if a truth sets you free, the lie must do the opposite. So how should a slave feel? How should a slave's life go? What do you think should be happening here? So you have to pay more attention to your own life. Just trying hard and being a good person is not it. That's what you've been told. But that's not true. You have to know something. And I'm not just talking about intellect and intelligence and aptitude, but I'm saying just being more aware and more responsible for your own awareness. So that your diet improves, your mental diet improves, the menu of thoughts that you're willing to consider and entertain. So that you fast more often, meaning you're constantly auditing your thoughts and saying, what do I want to fast or abstain from? Is there something I can replace this with? Or is there something, or should I just get rid of this and not replace it at all? That's fasting. It's abstaining from something that you don't feel is good for you or that you don't want to choose. You don't have to be hard on yourself to do that. Not when you know who you are. You just make a choice. What are you hard on yourself for? For what? Don't you know who you are? You're I am. You're not Marlon. You're not a physical being. It needs to be hard on itself. For what? So God is going to spank itself? Is that what we're saying? Or God's going to ground itself? Who's going to discipline you? Who's going to do it? It's not the case. I ask people this all the time. People ask me this question. I always put it back in this form. Has anybody ever heard God is testing me?
Yes.
Or this is the test? Has anybody ever heard that?
Good
Yes.
Lord, yes.
Damn, that's dumb. Making me so upset. Ridiculous. All right, so let's ask a question. Let's walk it out. Who can I go to? You know what? Let's see here. Who wants to volunteer? There's some people on here, been here for a while and I haven't heard from you, and I'm going to call on you. So it's better that you come up to the front of the congregation early.
I feel like Coach Lucky was looking at me. I'm gonna just go.
No, I don't know. No.
I'm gonna do it. Let's do it.
Nope. I want somebody else. I heard from you last week. Who else we got? There's people on here sitting in the back of the class thinking I don't see them. But I see everybody.
I'm ready.
Who can we get? Who's that? Oh, we got a trouble. Okay. Jamila, are you on here? I want to see what get somebody new.
Hello.
Yes, how are you doing?
I'm good. Hello, everyone. Happy New Year.
Okay, so what? Who cares? Now listen here. if you what do you do?
I'm a travel advisor.
Okay, you're a travel advisor.
Mm-hmm.
So if you let's see, what question can I ask you to make this point? Okay, so you're a travel advisor. Okay. How many, if you were to ask yourself a question, like if you were to say, how many countries do I know, or something, right?
Mm-hmm.
Ask yourself a question. So if you were to write down, how many countries do I know? What would that do for you?
It would just give me clarity on the countries that I'm an expert in providing service for.
Okay. When you're writing down those questions, do you know the answer?
Yeah, but yes.
Yes.
Somewhat.
Okay.
Not in depth.
Say that again. It cut out, Lucky.
Where does the answer come from?
My education.
Where does the answer come from?
It comes from within. I'm providing the answer comes from the experience that I have with that country.
The answer
The
comes.
knowledge that I have.
What did you say? The answer comes from. What did you
From
say?
me.
From
From
you.
the education that I received.
From you.
Yes.
Because when you're writing the questions down, who's asking the question?
You said I'm asking myself this question, correct?
So who's asking the question? Who is it?
Me.
Who's answering the question?
Me.
So then how is it a test?
I'm testing my knowledge.
How? If you're answering the question. You know the answer
Mm.
when you're writing the question.
I have to, I don't know. It's still because you're testing yourself of how much you know and you can remember.
No, you're testing yourself of how much you remember, but not how much you know. Because if you don't know whether you write the answer, whether you write the question or not, do you know the answer?
Yes, I know the answer, but if I answer incorrectly, I can go and find out the correct answer.
Then you don't know the answer. If you can't say I know the answer, but if I answer incorrectly, you don't
But
know.
if I listen, if I answer correct, right? I answer a question and I could have got the answer wrong because I didn't remember it correctly. It could be something as far as how many room categories does Sandals Royal Grenada have?
Mhm.
I could have answered it with 24 categories. Then when I go check, it says no, it's only 23 categories. So I didn't remember correctly. So I can check it.
Correct. Would you test yourself if you knew?
Yes.
Why would you test yourself if you knew? You wouldn't
Just
do.
to keep yourself sharp.
But you can't be sharper than you already know. If I know 2 + 2,
Well, to keep. Go ahead. Sorry.
would I write that down? Would I test myself on that?
Say that again. I didn't hear what you said.
I said I know 2 + 2 is 4, right?
Mm-hmm.
Would I write that down? Would I test myself on that?
No.
No. So what I'm saying is there's a difference between, like you said, what you know and what maybe you think you know, or what you think you're maybe trying to remember.
Mm-hmm.
But what you know, you would never test yourself on, would you?
What I know, what I test myself on.
What you know, what you know, you would never test yourself on because you know. What you want to see if you remember or what
Yes.
you think.
Yes. Yes. I would want to keep myself sharp to remember.
To remember. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. That's to reattach to your awareness.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So because that's something maybe you don't think about often, right? Or something like you said, you're saying, okay, cool. But that you would never write down questions and things you already know because you're answering the question while you're writing it. You know while you're writing it whether you know it or not. That's different than trying to remember something or trying to see if you know. Those are different levels of awareness.
Okay.
It's right is what I'm saying. So what I'm saying to you is I am, which people call God, is omniscient, all knowing. If an attribute or a characteristic of I am, which is you, first person present tense singular, right, knows,
Mm-hmm.
then what could you test yourself on?
Things that I'm not sure of.
But that wouldn't allow you to be omniscient.
Mm.
Does that make sense? As soon as if you tell your children, I'm not sure if you do or not, but I'm just using it. If you told someone that you know everything, and then they asked you a question and you said you didn't know, that automatically disproves your original statement then, right?
Mm-hmm.
If
Correct.
if who you are, if who you truly are, which is I am, is one of your natural characteristics is omniscience, all knowing, then what could you test yourself on?
Nothing.
Well, you know everything, so you can't test yourself on anything.
Correct. So then why is God testing you? Why do people say that?
He was never testing you.
Because they don't know who they are.
I'm saying I'm just walking it through. If we know that is our true nature, that we're omniscient, right? We know everything. So then why would we think I am is what I am is God? That God said my name is I am. So then I am is you. So that means you are testing yourself. Okay, you're testing your so then that means it's not some external thing somewhere, right? It's not something somewhere else. It is you testing yourself to see if you know. But what part of yourself, let's just say, what part of yourself are you testing if you're testing anything? What part of that would be? What part of that would that be?
Well, you're not testing anything because you know everything.
That's
So
then God can't be testing us. Can't be testing itself. And God's name is I am, which is you. When you say I am, that's you. So there's no external thing testing you. It can't be because it's you testing yourself. So you wouldn't do
mhm.
that, right? Like you said. That's my point, right? So my point is that we believe a lot of things that we hear that aren't in fact true. So then we believe there's an external God out there testing us about something when it's only our own awareness of being, right? That could do that or would do that, and it wouldn't because it's us. We're one. We're the same. There is no external thing different from us, separate from us, that's doing anything to us or for us. It is only us believing things to be different. Like I am Jamila, or I am Sarita, or I am Marcus. It's I am is the foundation upon which all these different expressions of itself exist. But the expression of itself can't be tested because it's itself. Why would you test yourself when you know that you know everything? Right? You couldn't test yourself if you know everything. You could only test yourself if you weren't sure or if you had to remember. But how could you have to remember if you're omniscient? As soon as you tell me you don't know or you forgot, omniscience went out the window. Because if I ask you in that moment and you tell me you don't know, it's already over. Because if I walk away 5 minutes without knowing, right, or without you knowing, that's not omniscience. Because I need to answer. So it's not omniscience. It's just maybe you remember something, maybe you don't. That's cool, but that's only humanity. That's my point. Omniscience is a characteristic or an attribute of your divinity. Your divinity, right, is I am. Forgetting, testing, remembering, all the other things are humanity. They're two different things. So when people say, "Oh, God is testing me," "Oh, God is this," that's not correct. That's not factually correct. It's not true. It's a belief we may hold truly, but that's not true because I am would not test itself. I am already knows it knows everything. So before it wrote the question, it's already answering it. That's why what does it say? Before you what does it say? Before you even ask, I will answer you. Before you call, I will answer. Anybody remember that?
Mm-hmm.
Before you even call, I will answer. So how is it going to test itself? Who? Right? My point is that we would never test ourselves for things that we know. So then if God knows everything, testing something doesn't make any sense. It already knows that it knows or it doesn't know. It already knows itself. Right? Marlon, what were you saying?
Oh no, just back to I know what you were saying. He said, before you were formed in the womb, it knew.
Yes, but it said before I formed you in the womb, I knew you and called you by name. But it also said before you even call, I will answer. Before you even call, I will answer. Right? Your awareness knows everything. Where do you think knowledge comes from? Right? The origin of knowledge comes from I am, from being, from who you are. So then if it forgets, it doesn't exist. There's no one else to help it remember. I am and there is no other. So if I am forgets, there's no other. There's no one else to, hey, oh yeah, let me remind you. There is none of that. Yeah. Right? Before you or while you're still speaking, I'll answer. Right? I am knows everything. Your awareness knows everything. So that is part of your true nature. Within you are all the answers. So then how do you get the answer? You identify yourself with the answer. So it's like, okay, I want to know how to get to here or there. Okay, you start telling yourself, you know what? All right, I'm now there, or I know how to get there. Your humanity doesn't, but your divinity does, your awareness does. So then it'll pop the answer into your mind, whether it's directly or through, you may watch something, hear something, someone may call you, something will come up. The physical world will always reform itself to who you're being. So when you're the being that doesn't know, your world will not show you anything that will allow you to. When you now become the version of yourself that does know by identifying yourself as the person with the answer, then now your world can show you as that thing. Oh, okay, I'm not the person that has the answer. So that may come to your humanity through a memory or through a book or something you see on TV, someone reading, something you read, someone may call you, but it will show itself up because it's always mirroring who you're being, right? So that's why who we're being is the thing that matters, because that's what the world is reflecting, is who we're being, right? So thank you, Julia, so much for your for your participation. Thank you so much. Yes, Sparkle Bailey.
Okay, Coach, first of all, thank you for this phenomenal message today. This reminder of what we can do, what we can tap into. I'm just helping us to discover or rediscover our abilities. Thank you for the impact of this call, because this was another, I won't be like, oh man, this was the best call. They're all the best calls. Like, thank you so much for this. My question is, as from your own example, I would love to hear an example of how you exist with others who have not become aware of certain ignorances, certain definitions. They're using terminologies in ways where you can just tell, I'm just kind of peeping where this person is. When I listen to people talk, I can peep where they are. People who have not discovered that they're confidently lost. And these are people that you love. These are people that, they matter in your life. How does Coach Lucky interact with or engage with people at that level, or those types of people?
Well, first of all, I love being me so much that I respect other people wanting to be them. I love my freedom and I love being who I am. And so I respect other people loving being who they are. I remember when I thought things were true when they were not. So I can understand and respect when other people think the things that are true that are not. So I understand it. It doesn't bother me. And because I love who I'm being so much, I'm not mad or angry or upset or frustrated when other people have not come to their own awareness yet, because we're all coming in our own time. We're all on our own path, on our own pace, right? So I don't judge them for that, condemn them for that, or criticize them. If they ask me or I need to, like I have a child, so I'm responsible for imparting information. So I do that. But other people that aren't my child, that I'm not responsible for, then I don't impress certain things on them because that's my responsibility. No matter what information I impress upon them, I'm doing it because it's my responsibility if it's my child. Whether I'm right or wrong, I'm still going to do the same job. Now, I'm happier that I'm imparting correct information because I'm going to generally get a better result. But whether I was doing it right or wrong, I'd still be doing it because that's my job. If it's not my job, then I'm going to give information from a different place. If you ask me for it, or maybe if you're my family or someone I'm close to, I might say a little something. But I respect other people's right to be who they are and where they are, because that is what I like to be. I don't want people to make me be them, and I'm not trying to make people me. So I afford people their freedoms, but I allow them the space for that. But I don't judge or criticize or condemn, but I also don't tolerate. And what I mean by that is I don't let someone convince me or attempt to convince me, or I don't adopt or adapt other people's belief systems that I know don't lead to a certain end. Because I don't care who you are, whether you're right or I don't care. I only care whether you're right or wrong. Right? I may listen to you because I love you or I know you, but at the end of the day, the information is either right or it's wrong. And right or wrong doesn't love me or hate me. It just feels like it if I'm right, like it's love, or hate if it's wrong. So I let people be who they are. If I really want to, if I really want to see a different version of that person, I just start telling myself that they are this. I'm the person who has this type of relationship with that person. I'm the person who has, who's seeing this person this way. That is between me and myself. I don't need to change the physical world. I just change who I'm being by telling myself, like, oh, okay, I'm now the person who has this type of relationship with that person, or this type of relationship with that person, or has this job. I may want a raise. And if I have a job, I may want a raise at work. And I may go into my boss and say, hey, I'd like a raise. And they say, hell no, get out. So then what do? Do I let it die with them? Well, no, because I was talking to them, but I wasn't praying to them. So then I'll say, okay, I asked, I did the human thing. They told me no. I'm going to go back and like Neville says, the perfect law of liberty. I'm going to go within myself and identify myself now as the person who has that raise. So I'm going to walk out. They said, no, okay, cool. I appreciate it. See you Monday. I'm back out. I go to the car, or I drive home, or I sit home, wherever I go. And I start now telling myself, okay, I want a raise. I now start identifying myself as a person with a raise. I've now rearranged my identity. I am originally the person who wanted a raise. I am now redefining myself as the person who has a raise. So that's what Neville means when it says, leave the outside world alone. It's only a reflection of yourself. Change yourself and the mirror will change. What's being reflected back to you will change. So you change you. You go from the person who doesn't have this relationship with them, or whose life isn't this, to the person who does have a relationship with them, this the way you want it, or whose life is like this. Those are all rearrangements of self, not of the physical outside world. Right? Trying to control the outside world is not where power is, because that's only effect. You can only change effect with cause, and cause is self. So when I rearrange myself as the cause, as the person now who has this thing, then that thing that I see must change, right? Because I am now the person who has this, and my world, my 3D world, my physical world is only reflecting who I'm being. So if I want to see a different physical thing, I change me so I can see a different physical thing, right? Because that's how all of us are the creator of our own realities. Because even though we're all in this together, we're all living separate, all having separate experiences. My experience is not contingent upon you. It's not reliant upon you. It's not reliable upon you. It's not based on you. It is, you are who I think you are in my world. That's how I'm creating my reality, is who I am believes that because of who I am, I believe this means this means that, this is that. And when I change who I'm being, then I can redefine what these things mean. And then I will see a different response or reflection of those things, because I am different. So change the world, change yourself, leave the world alone, change yourself, right? Identify yourself as the person who has this thing, or is this thing, or has that relationship. And that's the only way you change things, because it's not about changing other people. It's about changing yourself. And that changes your relationship to everything else.
The way you broke that down was so dope. I definitely will replay that part specifically. There are people in my life who I love dearly, and they love me dearly. And we see things differently, but the way that they believe with confidence, things that are just not true. It breaks my heart sometimes. And I want to pour love, and I get it now. The way you explained it, I completely get it now. I feel no sympathy for them in that way. It's just, I don't have to be, like you said, change you, focus on you, change you, and that will change the trajectory of y'all's relationship, because you're looking at the relationship differently. You're changing the style of the relationship in your mind. You're literally putting all the power back in front of you.
Well,
So,
the whole point is that you're the one who wants something different. They don't. So you
right.
have something different. The only way you can have something different is by giving it to yourself. They can't give you something different. They don't have it to offer. It's not about them. It's about them in the sense of you're looking outside and you're seeing something. And anytime you want to change something, that comes from a change of self. So right now you're being the person who doesn't see it. So if there's something you don't see, then that means you're the one who doesn't see it. So then you want to change yourself, meaning you want to now start identifying yourself as the person who does see it. And when you identify yourself as the person who does see it, that's when you see it. All things exist now, but you don't see everything that exists. You only see the part of existence that is filtered through your identity than through who you're believing yourself to be. So when we believe ourselves to be the person who doesn't see it, we'll never see. When we believe the person who believes ourselves to be the person who does, we will. It's not that what we now see never existed. It's that we couldn't see it because of who we were being. We now are able to see it because of who we've chosen to become. Right? So it's not changing the world. It's only changing yourself. That's the world you see is yourself.
That's dope, Coach. I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Pleasure.
Can I add on to that?
Sure.
Yeah, Sparkle Bailey, that was a great question, because I find myself getting so frustrated with letting people be. It's like I feel like I have the answers and they sit and complain, and I want to just drag them along sometimes, and it's so hard to just let them be.
Well,
but why is it so hard?
Because you can change it, but not the way you're trying. What you want is true. There is a version of them that is the way for both of you two, but for all of us. But for both of you two, since you asked the question, but I'm talking to the whole team. There is a version of them. That's why it's so hard for you, because you're intensely aware that there's something you desire, but you think that desire is something you have to create instead of realizing it's something that's already created. It's not something you have to fix, make, or create. It's something that you have to fix, make, or create by changing who you're being. Meaning, I am now going to become the person who sees this desire of them that I have. I have the desire for them to be more, let's say I have the desire for them to be more responsible. So I am, right? And you're saying, I want them to be more responsible. I want them to be. That's your outcome. Your desire is, I want them to be more responsible. Well, who are you being right now? Right now, you're being the I am that sees them as irresponsible. So this is the I am right now you're being. That is why that is what you're seeing. If you want to change, if you want to see responsible, then you have to change yourself and now start defining yourself as the I am who sees this person. It is consciousness now choosing a different aspect, a different way to see something, because you are everything. You're just looking this way, but irresponsibility is this way. But if you want to see, I'm looking right now and I'm looking at a door. If I look over here, I can look at the window. They both exist, but I only see the one I'm looking at, really. I can see this one out of my peripheral. It's true, but I can't really focus on it because I'm committed this way. But if I really want to see clearly and completely and fully that window, like I see this door, I have to be willing to change. Now, the peripheral over here that was once the entire picture is this big when it was this big. Now this that was this big is this big. Now I see clearly. I'm aware of what has been, but now I see clearly what is. It is my unwillingness because they've been this way this long. I could be looking at this door for 2 hours. It changes the truth that this window is there. But I may be telling myself, well, but I've been doing it this long. They've always been that way. But they just needed to be different. No, it does. As long as I'm looking this way, this is the main attraction. This door is not going to change. It's not designed to change. If I want to see a window, I can't stare at this door until it becomes a window. I have to be willing to change to see the window that already exists. This window, this version of that person that you're talking about so intensely is because it's true. But you just can't see them until you are willing to change your physical position to look this way, or change your consciousness position, rotate your consciousness and start telling yourself, what do you see out of this window? What do you see out of this person? So let's just say what you're saying, a person, right? Right now you're seeing everything you're seeing you can describe. Now, if you turn to the window, if you turn to the responsible part of that person, tell me what you see if they are what you want them to be. Tell me what you would see.
Oh God. I almost can't see.
Right. Stop. That's right.
Okay.
You can't because
I can't.
you haven't looked over here. You're aware, but you can't focus in on it because you keep staying like this. That's my point. So that is why I stopped you. It wasn't to cut you off, it was to stop you. Would you say, I can't? Well, then how can they? How can it be? If God can't, it can't. Because you're the creator of all things. So if you're looking this way, you're looking at irresponsible. It's all you'll see. So then what do? You'll keep talking about it because you're talking about what you see. But why are you seeing it? Because that's the direction you're facing. You have to turn your awareness to now them being responsible, whatever that is. And so when I say, well, what can you see? Then you need to start, this is where you need to be. Turn. If they are what you wanted them to be, what would they be? Oh, they be on time. They be gracious. They be kind. They be reliable. They be disciplined. They be faithful. They be this, this. That is you now describing what I see out of this window. If I look at this door, it's like there's a thermostat right there. There's a door. There's a bookshelf. I can't describe anything out there. But if I look this way, it's like, oh, there's a tree, there's a street, there's a construction site, there's a park. I can describe anything I'm looking at. You can't describe it because you're not looking at it. You're not looking at it because you're not willing, for whatever reason. You're not willing to change what you are telling yourself. You're not willing to tell yourself. You're not willing to tell yourself. Like, you see what I'm doing? Like, you're not willing to tell yourself. You're not willing to shift your consciousness. You're not willing to tell yourself, to turn yourself into the person who can describe that person. That's why you want it so bad, because it's true. It's real. You're not wrong. You're actually right. But you keep trying to see it. You're aware of it, but you won't look at it. You won't commit to it. You're trying to describe something out of your peripheral, and I couldn't do it either. Oh, tell me what you see out the window. I know there's some over there, but I can't because I'm not focused there. Once I turn here and I'm focused, I see everything. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah. I'm trying to think about how I can't look at them and see something different.
Yeah, but you're not even
than what they are.
You are choosing to be another version of you. This is about you. This is about you. The desire is about you, and the outcome is about you. They're both about you. You're the one who wants something different, right? And you're the person who's happy that they have it. You're only using them to give yourself something you want. So this isn't about them. This is about you. What do you want? I am. What do you want to be as all that is as I am? I am means all that is. Okay, right now I am. I'm all that is. All of this stuff is mine. But I'm only experiencing what I'm experiencing right now. But if I walk in here, there's a kitchen in here. If I walk over here, there's this. If I walk over here, there's this. I own it all, but I'm only experiencing what I'm focused on. Where I am, what I'm focused on. When I change my focus, I see this. When I change my focus, I see that. If I change this, if I change that, if I change that, if I change that, all of it is mine, but I'm only experiencing that which I am focused on. And when a lot of times in life, we get so fixated on something or someone, and it's been the same forever, that we start telling ourselves it can never be different. But this wasn't here at the beginning. This was a dirt land, just like anything else around. This was built. So it wasn't always this way. So it doesn't always have to remain that way either. It's just something we've seen so long as it is that we start telling ourselves that it's stable. But get a good earthquake, this will come down quick. Get a good fire, this will burn down quick. It's not as stable or as concrete. It's not as immovable as we think. It's just but we keep reinforcing the story because we keep going. Every time you come down steps, I just go like this. I just go like this. I just go like this. Instead of coming down, and if I turn this, I see this. If I turn this, I see that. Everything is available to you right now. It's just you being willing to turn your awareness into seeing what you want to see. And when you see what you want to see, it's easy to describe. I see a tree. I see cars going across the thing way over there. I see this. It's easy for me to see. But it's about you. It's not about them. It's about you. This is what you want for you. It's not about them. I know that feels tricky to say. I know it does. But you're using them as the motivator to experience yourself in a different way. They are like you being hungry. They're like you being thirsty. They're the catalyst to get you to move, to get you to act. But all acts first start in consciousness. So if you're unwilling to tell yourself that it can be different, you'll want different, but you won't see different because you're unwilling to turn. You're unwilling to repent, radically change your mind. Repent, change your mind radically. So start telling yourself something different. You don't have to see different, and you won't see different until you tell yourself something different. That's what's going to turn you, is by telling yourself something different. And whatever you tell yourself is true, and you'll see it. It exists already. You want it because it exists. You're not wrong, but it's not something to change or chase or create. This is not designed to be a window. It's designed to be a door. So I move to where the window is. The window already exists and it's already available to me as is, as perfect, whole, and complete as it is. So it's not a matter of changing, chasing, or controlling. It's a matter of choosing. It's a matter of selecting who you want to be. So you go from the person who has someone in their life who is irresponsible to the person who has someone who is responsible. It's a re-changing of self, not the world.
Mm. It's almost I feel like it's easier for me to pivot away from them completely.
That's an option too.
Yeah, and
there are people I've been like, period.
Then I feel bad because I'm like, oh, I'm outgrowing them, or I'm, I don't know, turning my back
But the
on
reason
them.
problem with that's why I always tell you guys, put your emotions to the side, because your emotions will tell you that you're bad, you're wrong. Leslie and I were having this conversation. It's like you have to learn how to comfortably and confidently be you. You don't have to talk like other people. You don't have to like things other people like. You don't have to deal. You don't have. This is your experience, and the only way to have the best possible one is by being your authentic self. There are things that you no longer want anymore, like anymore. People, things, food. I have a picture when I was young eating celery with the peanut butter, the old school when you're in elementary and stuff like that. Man, if you gave me some celery right now, I would throw it at you. Right? But that's who I was. I've outgrown that. I didn't like celery, probably past, I don't remember when I stopped liking it, but I remember no longer liking it, probably at least middle school. Right? So, but I have a picture with who I used to be. Right? But there's things as we continue to move forward in this experience that are no longer pleasant to us, pleasing to us, necessary to us, desirable for us. And when we're so busy judging it or categorizing it, right, wrong, good, bad, oh, you're not who you used to be, oh, you changed. We're so busy emotionalizing it that it keeps us stuck from making the choice that would actually represent our next steps of growth and freedom. So you think the pain is the person. No, the pain is the person, which is you staying the same. That's the pain. The pain is not them. The pain is you staying the same because you're not willing to say, I outgrew it, or I'm past it, or I want different now. I want something else now. That is the freedom you have.
Yeah, I think that's what it is I don't want to pivot because it would make me a bad person, a bad friend if I pivot.
I am is a friend. Friend is only an action based on a consciousness. If you don't choose that consciousness, you can't be that thing, no matter how hard you try to be it physically. You ain't that. Can't you tell? Are you happy? Are you happy as a friend? It don't sound like it. So then you're not being a friend. Because a friend is not only what you are, but it's also what you're receiving. It's a reciprocal thing. And not from the person, from the experience of being. It's not about them. Friendship is your awareness of being something that you call friend. And what does it say? As you sow, you'll reap. Your awareness of friendship is not either what it should be or no longer what it used to be. And so now maybe you've grown. You've now changed it to something else. So now it's requiring you to pivot to a different type of person. This person, this physical thing no longer reflects what you have. This door is always going to be that. That person is that based on who you are. That window is still there, so I can watch this now. So I can get a different perspective when I'm willing to change. That person is designed to be who they are. You're designed to be who you are. If that they no longer represent your concept of that, then you turn from that and you move forward. There is no good or bad, right or wrong. That's humanity's way of trying to categorize things like Monday and Tuesday, hot and cold. It tried to categorize everything. But that's why I say put your emotions to the side, because if you don't, it will not allow you to see the freedom of choices that actually exist. Oh, I could, look, you want to go, but you won't. You want to change, but you won't. And who is suffering? You. And then you want to put that on them, and it's on you. It's on you. Right?
It's easier to blame her for being stupid, but I keep looking at the stupid.
This is the closet. What do you want me to do? Right? I got to look out the window. But I just can't believe they would put a door right there. Like, why are you sitting there hollering at the closet when there's a window right there? Right? Yes. It's all about you. It's
I was
about,
like, who's really stupid?
did that make sense? Did that help?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, a lot. Thank you.
Good. Awesome. Glad you asked. All right, it's 9:27. I know, or 12:27 where you guys are. Anything else before I let you go?
I think the overtime is overtiming.
That's all right. I like people, if they want to be here, I'm here for it.
All right, Vero, you can coin that phrase.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah, it's just, everybody's here. Everybody loves Saturday. I heard that this week. Everybody loves Saturday. Everybody loves to be motivated, entertained. Man, we got to be informed. You got to get some information going. You got to know who you are. You got to, so that you can make a decision. You don't owe anybody anything. I am just like you. They're just a different expression of the one cause, of the one consciousness. You don't owe anybody anything, except what did Wallace Waddle say? You owe no man anything that will prevent you from making the most of yourself. When you are trying to pigeonhole yourself to make someone else feel better, you're not. How are you gonna make them feel better and you're in pain? It's not a sustainable model. You owe no man anything. You don't owe anyone anything that will prevent you from being the most of yourself. Your authentic, true, full self is why you are created. You are an expression of consciousness, full, whole, and complete. You are enough. And there's no one like you, no one better than you, no one greater. There's no one on your level. And if you're not being you, then the world misses out. The world misses out. Everybody misses out when you're not you. And how are you when you're unhappy, unhealthy, unsafe, unsuccessful? How do you when you're how? How are you your best person with the wrong foot forward, right? How are you? We're trying to rationalize things. That's not what this is about. That's not what you're here to do. You're not here to punish yourself. You're not here to suffer. Obedience is better than sacrifice. Obey. When you know it's time to move on, move on. When that thing is no longer what it needs to be, move on. You ain't being honorable by keeping it. I mean, otherwise, you might as well be a hoarder. They have a whole lot of reasons for keeping stuff they shouldn't either. Right? Everybody got a reason for keeping stuff. Everybody has a reason to remain the same, but complain about who they are. No, if you don't like it, move on. Right? It is more painful to remain the same than to become your desire. Right? That's what we're doing. So, excellent. All right, Vanessa, anything you want to say before you let them go?
Man, if you guys want to continue the Saturday vibes, we have the youth circle, Coach Lucky. We meet a smaller group on Tuesdays, on Fridays, and then you get your one-on-one with Coach Lucky as well. I put that in the chat multiple times, or you can email us at info@themental.academy if you have any questions. The replay is always on the live section on the Mental Academy's YouTube channel. And man, we got a whole 30 minutes extra. Let's go.
Wonderful. All right. Well, happy Saturday, everyone. It's good to see everyone. We practice. It's playtime, game time. Handle your business. Remember who you are. Act like it, right? And you're walking on water. Turn the water into wine. Do it. Handle it, right? So good to see you all. Happy Saturday. Have a great week. Win. That's your expectation. Win. Victory only, victory always, right? And let's go.
Victory only, victory
Thanks,
always.
Luck. Thanks,
Victory
Luck.
only, victory